7th of August, 1944. At dusk they pour from the sky. They blow across the ramparts, turn cartwheels over rooftops, flutter into the ravines between houses. Entire streets swirl with them, flashing white against the coals. Urgent message to the inhabitants of this town, they say. Depart immediately to open country. The tide climbs. The moon hangs small and yellow and gibbous. On the rooftops of beachfront hotels to the east, and in the gardens behind them, half a dozen American artillery units drop incendiary rounds into the mouths of mortars. I'm Lauren of Cook's Books, and this is my review of All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I want to start by saying this is probably going to be an incredibly biased review because this is one of the best books I have ever read. The very first chapter, which I just read to you, makes it so clear where and when we are and the threat our characters are facing before we even know who they are. It completely sets the tone and it draws you in, and you are there. It is your danger as much as theirs. This book is divided into 12 sections, each with quite a lot of chapters which are all between 2 and 3 pages long. The chapters switch between a growing point of view cast, but we begin with Mary Law and with Werner. I will warn you now, I'm going to give some very slight spoilers. I'm going to leave this little symbol here, and when it disappears, it is safe to turn the volume back on. At first, Mary Law lives in Paris with her father, and we watch as she slowly becomes blind. We also see the ingenious ways her dad comes up with to help her with that, including building scale replicas of the city she lives in so she can learn her way around blind. Our other main character is called Werner, and he is an orphan in a small German town of Zollverein. He lives in an orphanage with his younger sister Jutta. Mary Law is obsessed with the shells she finds in the Museum of Natural History in Paris, where her father works as a locksmith. And Werner loves science, and his special favourite aspect of science is learning about radio waves. Later on we also get more perspectives of a Nazi who is employed in finding great treasures for Hitler's museums. We also have Mary Law's uncle Etienne, later on a soldier called Volkheimer, and Jutta. The 12 sections jump around in time, but the general progression of the plot is as follows. We start off with both Mary Law and Werner in their hometowns, but as war encroaches on Paris, Mary Law is forced to flee with her father to the small seaside town of St. Malo. There they live with her uncle Etienne and his maid Madame Manek. Her father quickly begins building her a scale model of the city just as he had in Paris, so that if she needs to she can get around, but she isn't allowed to leave the house. With him, her father has brought a secret. He is one of 4 possible carriers of a diamond known as the Sea of Flames. Hitler is searching for the Sea of Flames desperately to add to his collection. They don't know if the diamond they carry is real or if it's one of 3 forgeries. Meanwhile, Werner has been entered into a special elite academy of Hitler Youth, known as the Schlupfwörter School. There he is taken on as a special prodigy of a science professor, and he helps to develop new technology that can detect radio waves out in the field. When he graduates, he goes out to Russia to help locate enemy lines and spies. His work also takes him to the small town of St. Malo. When he was young, he and his sister would listen to a specific radio broadcast by an elderly French man about science, and while he is hunting for spies using radio waves in this town, he hears the recording. And he abandons his duty and doesn't tell anyone he's heard it so he can keep them safe. The people broadcasting the recording are Mary Law and her uncle as part of the resistance movement. And this is how our characters become connected. This book took 10 years to write, and you know what? I am not even surprised. It is beautiful. It is not just written, it's crafted. Everything is intentional, and everything serves a purpose. Of course, being a war novel, the themes it focuses on are a lot of plight and also loss. But there's more than that there. There's the love of family and making a home for yourself and choosing the right thing to do, even if it's the hardest thing to do. In terms of the language, I was going to pull out a few quotes to kind of demonstrate how beautiful it is to you, but every line from this book is just a beautiful quote waiting to be found. Proof of point. A single slice of cake remains. The radio purrs and the woman laughs, and Herr Siedler looks at almost nothing. Werner decides, like his neighbours, their guarded, anxious faces of people accustomed to watching loved ones disappear in the morning pits. His face is clean and committed. He is a man supremely confident in his privileges. and 5 yards away nails this woman with varnished fingernails and hairless calves, a woman so entirely removed from Werner's previous experience that it is as if she's from a different planet, as if she's stepped out of the big Philco itself. Through small snippets like that you can learn so much about a character and gain so much insight, and this book is full of them. I feel like this book is very influential in terms of my outlook and especially on my writing. It convinced me that multiple points of view can be subtle and really helpful. It also showed me the joy of small chapters because it just increased the pace so much and it just had me fighting to read as many as I could. This pacing, as well as the jumps between years, really helps set up the reveals with just enough hints so that it still surprises you when they come to fruition. I will warn you now that this book has some heartbreak in store for you, as well as some questions left unanswered. If anything, a little bit too much was tied up at the very end when we jumped forward in time. I don't always need every character to be neatly connected to every other character. I think sometimes it's nice that they have their own stories. I especially love the commentary on ableism and the ability to transcend illness, because Mary Law and what she goes on to do is so inspirational. I think she's truly a role model for young girls and for blind children. She is just so strong and so brave. There is still so much she is capable of, and she can do anything she wants to do with her life, and she does. So that was my review of All the Light We Cannot See, which will almost definitely be my book of the year. Let me know what your favourite book of this year has been down in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye!